Chapter 2, Section 8a, Latin Cases. Instead of using word order to identify subjects and other elements in a sentence, Latin uses forms, called cases, which provide information about what each noun, pronoun, or adjective is doing in a sentence. Sometimes, the function is equivalent to an English subject or direct object, as you saw in the sentences in Chapter 1. But sometimes, the case must be translated with an English preposition in addition to the noun. Latin has 6 common cases and a 7th less common one. Each case may signal more than one function, but the most common uses are these. The first is the nominative. Its common use is as the subject of a finite verb. That means it's the thing actually doing the action. For example, Bob is the subject of the sentence, Bob runs, since Bob is the one actually doing the running. Next, the genitive. Its common use is possession. For example, if I say Jake's car, or the car of Jake, Jake is the person possessing the car, so Jake is genitive. Next, the dative. This is the indirect object. That means it's receiving the direct object, which we'll speak about in a moment. For example, if I said, I gave Rachel a gift, Rachel will be the indirect object, since she receives what I, the subject, is doing, namely giving the gift. Since Rachel receives the direct object, she would be dative. When we translate the dative, we will often use the words to or for to show that the direct object is for something or to something. Next one, the accusative. This is the direct object. This is the object the action is being done to. So, for example, in the sentence, I kicked the football would be accusative, since it is the thing being kicked. Lastly, the ablative. The ablative usually deals with the object of the preposition. For example, if I say, the ball is in the box is the object of the preposition, since that's what the word in relates to. Phrases like out of the carriage, away from the city, and above the table are all phrases whose nouns, carriage, city, and table respectively, will be ablative. This is why you will usually see ablatives have words like by, with, in, and from in front of them. The ablative is used when we relate nouns to each other. This chapter includes only the nominative and accusative case uses. The other cases will be introduced in chapters 4, 3, and 6. Sample paradigms will typically list only the first 5 cases. Section 8b, Case Uses. First, the nominative. That's the subject of a verb which has a personal ending. An example in Latin is agricola laborant. That means the farmer works. In that sentence, agricola, the farmer, is nominative, since he is the person doing the working. Second, the accusative. That's the direct object, the thing the action is being done to. An example in Latin is feminam amant. That means they love the woman. Here, feminam, the woman, is accusative, since she is the person receiving the love. She's the one being loved. And, as a special note to remember, sometimes the accusative is used as the secondary object in a sentence. For example, the sentence literas pueros doces, which means you are teaching the boys literature, will have 2 accusatives, one for boys and one for literature. And again, in the sentence donum virum orant, which means they are asking the man for a present, both man and present are in the accusative. This is rare, however, and is used primarily for the verb for teaching, which is docere, and asking, orare. Section 9. The noun. Nouns in Latin fall into 5 regular groups, called declensions, according to the vowel which originally appeared at the end of the noun stem. Sound changes over time have made this vowel disappear in many of the forms. The easiest way to identify the declension of a noun is to look at the genitive singular case ending, which is unique to each declension. The first declension's characteristic vowel, meaning the vowel which the declension is built around and is used most often, is long A. The singular genitive ending is AE. The second declension's characteristic vowel is O. The singular genitive ending is long I. The third declension's characteristic vowel is long I, or a consonant. The singular genitive ending is is. The fourth declension's characteristic vowel is u. The singular genitive ending is long U, S. The fifth declension's characteristic vowel is long E. The singular genitive ending is long E, I. The stem of a noun carries the meaning of the noun, and the case endings indicate its function in the sentence. To find the stem of a noun, drop the genitive singular ending. An example from the first declension is agricolae. Drop the AE and we get agricole. That's your stem. From the second declension, we have amici. Drop the I and we get amic. That's your stem. In addition to being marked for cases, the ending on a noun, like the personal endings on verbs, are also marked for number, singular or plural. Section 10. Gender. Latin nouns are also identified by gender, masculine, feminine, or neuter. Gender can be predicted for some words, but not for others, so you will need to memorize the gender of each noun when you learn it. Some general patterns, however, are useful to remember. First pattern. Most first declension nouns are feminine. The common exceptions are often remembered as the pain words, P-A-I-N, which are all masculine. Those words are poeta, which means poet, agricola, which means farmer, incola, which means inhabitant, and nauta, which means sailor. The second pattern. Most second declension nouns with the nominative ending in us or er are masculine. The most common exceptions are humus, meaning ground, which is feminine, vulgus, meaning crowd, which is usually neuter, but can be masculine depending on the situation, and pelagus, meaning sea, and that's neuter as well. Names of trees, towns, and islands are also feminine. Third pattern. Second declension nouns with the nominative ending in are going to be neuter. Section 11. Dictionary entry. The dictionary entry for a noun lists the nominative singular form, the genitive singular form, and the gender of the noun. The genitive singular form identifies the noun's declension. For example, in a dictionary, we would see puella and puellae next to each other. Then a little f next to it, showing that it is feminine. We know that puella is first declension because the genitive form, puellae, ends in ae. Now we get the definition, which is girl. To give another example, we will see amicus and amici next to each other with a little m, showing the word is masculine. We know that amicus is second declension because the genitive singular puellae ends in long a. Amicus means friend. Last example, regnum regni with a little m next to it shows it to be masculine. The noun regnum must be second declension because the genitive singular regni ends in long I. Regnum means kingdom. Section 12. First declension. Let's take a word like femina, meaning woman, in the first declension. Let's look at all the possible cases of femina. For the singular, nominative, we have femina, meaning a woman does something. Its ending is a. For the singular genitive, we have feminae. That means of a woman. Its ending is ae. For the singular dative, we have feminae as well. That means to or for a woman. That ending is ae as well. For the singular accusative, we have feminam. That means something is done to a woman. The ending is am. And lastly, for the singular, we have the ablative. Its Latin form is femina, and it means by, with, or from a woman, and its ending is long a. In the plural, we have the nominative feminae, meaning women do something. Its ending is ae. For the plural genitive, we have feminarum, that means of multiple women. That ending is arum. For the plural dative, we have feminis, that means to or for women. That ending is long is. And for our plural accusative, we have feminas, that means something occurs to multiple women. That ending is long as. And for our plural ablative, we have feminis. That means by, with, or from women. That ending is long is. Notice the following. The long a of the ablative singular ending distinguishes it from the nominative singular, so it should be memorized from the outset. Similarly, the dative and ablative plural have the same ending, long is. In a sentence, the context will usually make the identification of the case clear. The same is true for the genitive and dative singular and the nominative plural endings, which are ae. And to memorize the first declension endings, I've learned a song that goes to the tune of Ba Ba Black Sheep. You'll have to forgive me for my poor singing, but here goes. A long E M I two. Now the first declension's through. First declension now we know. Magister Noster told us so. Section 13a. Second declension masculine. Let's now take an example from two nouns. Animus, meaning mind or spirit, and puer, meaning boy. For our singular nominative, we have animus, and for our singular nominative of puer, we just have puer. Its endings are us or er. For the singular genitive, we have animi and pueri. Its ending is just long I. For the singular dative, we have animo and puero. Its endings is just long o. For the singular accusative, we have animum and puerum. That ending is just um. And for our singular ablative, we have animo and puero, and that ending is long o. For our plurals, we have plural nominative animi and pueri. That ending is long I. We have the plural genitive animorum and puerorum. That ending is long o rum. For our plural dative, we have animis and pueris. That ending is long is. For our plural accusative, we have animos and pueros. That ending is long os. And for our plural ablative, we have animis and pueris, and that ending is long is. Notice the following. As in the first declension, the dative and ablative plural have the same ending, long is. The dative and ablative singular of the second declension also have the same ending, which is long o. As in the first declension, the genitive singular and nominative plural endings, which is long I, are the same. Once again, the context will usually make the identification of the case clear. Some words in er drop the e from the stem in all but the nominative singular. Compare puer, pueri with ager and agri. The genitive singular shows you the stem, which will be used for the remaining forms. And to memorize the second declension's masculine endings, I learned a song that goes to the tune of Yankee Doodle. Here goes. US long I long O-U-M, long O long I-O-R-U-M, I-S-O-S-I-S, and that is the second declension. Perhaps I should say that a little bit slower. US long I long O-U-M, long O long I-O-R-U-M, I-S-O-S-I-S, and that is the second declension. Section 13b, second declension neuter. Let's now take an example from regnum, meaning kingdom. The singular nominative is going to be regnum. That ending is um. The singular genitive is regni. That ending is a long I. The singular dative is regno, with the ending of long o. The singular accusative is regnum, with an ending of um. And the singular ablative is regno, with an ending of long o. In the plural, we have the plural nominative, regna, ending with an a. The plural genitive, regnorum, ending with orum. The plural dative, regnis, ending with long is. The plural accusative, regna, ending in a. And the plural ablative, regnis, ending in long is. Notice the following. In the neuter pattern, the nominative and accusative case endings are always the same, both in the singular and the plural. Use the context of the sentence to decide which case is being used. All other endings are the same as those for the masculine pattern. Unfortunately, I don't have a song for the neuter second declension nouns, but they're very close to the same as the masculine ones, so if we remember the small changes between masculine and neuter, we shouldn't have any problem. Section 14. The conjunction. Latin uses coordinating conjunctions, words like and, but, or, just as English does, to connect words, phrases, and sentences. The most important thing to notice is that the words being connected always have the same function. For example, we could connect two subjects, or two verbs, or something like that, but never a subject and a verb, or a subject and a direct object. Let's look at a few sentences. If we had the sentence, the sailor helps and works, we have two verbs, help and work. We've connected it with a coordinating conjunction, and that works out great. If we have the woman and the man teach, that's two subjects, woman and man. If we have the boy shouts, but the man is silent, we have two sentences, the boy shouts and the man is silent. That works out great. As in English, conjunctions in Latin are commonly placed between the words or phrases they connect. An exception to this is the enclitic que, which is added to the second word of those being connected. For example, we could read puer et puella, the boy and girl. We could say puer puellaque, the boy and girl, or oramus clamamusque, we are begging and shouting. If two subjects are joined by a conjunction, the verb will be plural. So, agricola et puer laborant, the farmer and the boy are working. Section 15. Reading Latin using expectations. In order to read successfully in any language, it is necessary to have a sense of what makes a complete sentence. In English, we expect a simple statement to appear in the order subject, verb, direct object. For example, the woman praises the boy, and we become so accustomed to this pattern that we don't think about it as we read. Similarly, if we see the verb hit, we know the sentence is not complete without a direct object. Since Latin does not use the same word order as English, it is more difficult to know at first when a sentence is complete. Once you learn to notice certain clues, however, you will find that you can predict what will come next, even in a Latin sentence. Chapter 1 introduces two common sentence patterns and some endings which help you to identify verbs. This chapter has introduced endings which help you identify the case of a noun, and therefore its use in a sentence. With these tools, you should be able to predict what to expect as you read a Latin sentence. For example, if we have the intransitive sentence with the intransitive verb agricola laborat, meaning the farmer works, we expect a subject with the nominative case ending and a verb with a verb ending. And if we have a transitive sentence, femina rosam habet, the woman has a rose, we expect a subject with the nominative case ending, a verb with the verb ending, but because it's transitive, habet must be transitive, we have a direct object with an accusative case ending, because direct objects always have accusative case endings. Because conjunctions connect items with the same function, you should also be able to predict what form is coming next when you see a phrase such as puella et blank. It'll have to be another nominative. If you pay close attention to the endings on words and practice the art of expecting what is likely to come next in a sentence, you will soon find yourself reading Latin successfully. That's all for this chapter. The end of the chapter has a short narrative and a vocabulary list of verbs and nouns.